Hi people and hello my Chili Con Carnage crew, it's Chili here from Live Listen Erased, and I just wanted to give an update for the weekly polls. I'm just going to try out this little video thing, give my feedback in regards to the polls that I've been putting out. If you are unaware, I do polls every single day in regards to which album out of 2 should be erased, and I want to give my feedback on some of these polls because damn, there are some random ones and I didn't realize that some were going to go some way and others another way. So first up, we're going to go all the way back to this one here with Throwing Copper versus Riot. That's Paramore and Live. Surprised to see that Throwing Copper was erased against Riot. That blows my mind. I'm not saying that Paramore are horrendous, I just wasn't a big Paramore fan. Throwing Copper though is a decent album by a fairly decent band that's almost kind of obscure in these days. I feel like I really want to do an episode about Live because, you know, in the 90s they were just everywhere. They were very big, but then I don't know, moving forward they just had this massive little hiatus thing, and you know, their lead singer, who has a very defined signature voice, just left the band for a couple of years and they released an album without him and really just went into a nose spiral to the ground. I don't think they've released an album in 7 years or something like that. It'd be interesting to see if they do. This one really surprised me though. The next poll I had was Metallica's Black Album against Dire Straits' self-titled album, and to my surprise 60% people said get rid of the Black Album, and I don't know if people misunderstood when I said erase one or not. I'm going to say they did, but I know Dire Straits is good, I just didn't think their self-titled effort was worthy of erasing the Black Album. That's a surprise to me. I don't know if that'll be a surprise to you guys. The next list that we had, poll I should say, this was of course Maroon 5 against The Strokes' Angles. Now, The Strokes are interesting, I don't mind them. These are both albums that I don't really feel strongly about, so I don't care. But for the obvious reason, get rid of Maroon 5. I've just got to say that. So no surprise to see that 2/3 of people said, yep, let's get rid of Maroon 5 because they suck. The next one that we had, oh gosh, this one's a bit overpowering. I'm just seeing the results here, and it was Panic at the Disco, Pray for the Wicked versus No Prayer for the Dying, Iron Maiden. These are both pretty average albums. I mean, I'm no Panic at the Disco fan, many people are though, but it is perhaps no surprise to people of the channel who voted against Iron Maiden and put Prayer for the Wicked much lower to erase it at almost 80% of the vote. I mean, we had a lot of people voting on this one, and I think that's in due small part to the Iron Maiden video I put out ranking all of the albums. By the way, part 2 of that video will be out. I will probably just be delaying that one because I want to get together and collab with someone in regards to that one. It's just a matter of finding the right time to do that recording. The next one again was a very tough one, I thought, in regards to 60s British pop music or rock music, and it was The Who's My Generation against the Rolling Stones' Let It Bleed. Again, a very strong turnout, and it saw The Who's My Generation get obliterated almost, with a 74% of voting against My Generation. So long The Who. It's probably not their strongest album, I mean that is their debut, and Let It Bleed is such a good record. A lot of people commenting stating that it was their favourite. To no surprise, Let It Bleed is a fantastic record by the Rolling Stones. We move on, and this one was a very eclectic choice, but we have Rob Zombie's Hellbilly Deluxe against Sublime's album Sublime. And look, I'm not a huge Sublime fan. I was listening to them recently because I was watching a video in regards to 10 facts about 10 facts about music in regards to Sublime's album, and it's a really good video as well by that one. I'll have to put the link below by the channel, and it was a very good, very well edited video. Can't recommend them highly enough. But Hellbilly Deluxe erased. Very surprising to hear about that one. I thought Hellbilly Deluxe, isn't that like his strongest effort? I stand corrected, I guess. The next one again was another strong one for a turnout to the bands. We have Blink-182's California up against Silver Sun Pickups and Canvas. That is a very powerful album by Silver Sun Pickups. I love that one. The debut album and their sophomore release, both incredible albums. And it is probably no surprise that California lost out. 76% of people voted and said, get rid of it, it's got to be erased. Yeah, Look, it's not the strongest Blink-182 album, that's for sure. It did mark their return after quite a few years, but it was a bit of a misstep, I guess, by the band in regards to that. The next one that we had, this was a very close call actually, but we had Mellow Gold by Beck up against Caspian Fire, and once again, very tight. It actually was Mellow Gold that was erased at 53% of the vote, so intriguing to see that one. The next one, again, it surprised me, but it's probably perhaps due to my fan base. I had Neil Young's Harvest album, a very powerful album by Neil Young, against System of a Down and Mesmerize. I thought this was a very, very weird mix when I picked it, and very much proved to be the case, with most people voting Harvest out at 57%. So wow, that's a big call. Mesmerize, of course, is probably one of the weaker efforts by System of a Down, if I'm being truthful here. There's no bad album by System of a Down, but I mean, Harvest, come on people. The next one that we have up, and the last one for this video, is Rage Against the Machines, the Battle of Los Angeles, up against Eat the Elephant by A Perfect Circle. It is a bit ongoing at the moment still, but by the looks of it, it looks like Eat the Elephant is going to be erased at 53% of the votes against the Battle of Los Angeles. Of course, the Battle of Los Angeles is a very strong album by Rage Against the Machine. Hell, you can't go wrong. They only had one bad album, and that was the covers album. Do you really count that? But at the end of the day, there was some interesting points to be made about that. And it's funny, I guess, because Rage Against the Machine, a lot of people would say they sold out. That's fairly true as well. But I digress. People still love the album. The music rocks off that. And the Perfect Circles album, Eat the Elephant, is one of the... it's an interesting one because they came back after so many years of just being inactive. And it's not a bad album. When you compare it to the first two, it is not as good as the first two. Still a good album, just not as good as the first two. What can we say, mate? But that is the polls for the week and my feedback in regards to seeing that. A little bit of shock and surprise in regards to a few of those albums being erased, but it's interesting to see you guys, and I love to read your comments in regards to the albums that I pick. Hell, if you got suggestions, put it down below. If you want to see your album that you chose up against another one, I would love to know. And as always, people, stay subscribed for more notifications on music related material. Have a great day, everyone, and stay spicy.